Hello everybody, my name is Shadowlands, and today I want to talk about min-maxing the Archivist Codex rep and the Rift system as well, which I made a video about it a couple days ago with my first look at a Rift, and I've now learned a lot more about how they work, and we'll be sharing that with you in this video. So, Archivist Codex rep, what do you need it for? Sockets and conduits, so if you don't care about those, not a big deal. If you do care about those, you can choose how hard you want to go on this rep. The main way that you're going to gather rep, the biggest chunks are from these one-time treasures that you can find out in the world. There's a bunch of ones that are just kind of located all over the zone. Then once you hit tier 2 with the rep, you can buy these 4 keys that let you unlock these treasure chests, and those will have more one-time infusions of rep. Once you hit tier 3, you can go into these teleporters. These teleporter events show up once per some amount of hours, and anybody with a key can unlock it, and then it will open for the whole zone. So you don't actually need to get tier 3. You don't even need to get tier 3 to drop one of those keys. They just drop from mobs as well. But basically, when you see the zone-wide emote that one of these teleporters has been activated, go inside, kill the rare, and there's also a one-time quest item. Not just the one that drops from the rare, but there's one in each of those rooms that you can get as well. By the way, this add-on called Handynotes, very handy add-on, shows where a bunch of rares and treasures and stuff are until you get them. It also is great for the keys quest because it shows you where all the keys can be, the keys treasure chest down here. And if you click on it, it will keep them positioned on your map and actually on your mini-map when you get there, so it can make it really easy to go and check all the possible spawn points for the 3 keys. That's a little bit of a side note. Okay, so the one-time things, there's also 4 one-time quests available in the Rift phase. So the Rift, we talked about it a little bit in an earlier video about Rifts. It's accessible with these Rift portals, which some amount of them will be active in any given phase, and you can go and use a Rift key to get into it. So this is what that Rift key looks like. It drops from a bunch of random mobs, just randomly. I got... over a couple days, I've gotten like 2 to drop across my account, so it's fairly rare. You're kind of unlikely to get one on any given day or anything, but you're likely to see one over the course of playing, one character for a week or something. And that will let you go into the Rift. Inside the Rift, there are 4 more of those quest items, and there are 4 daily treasure chests. But each daily treasure chest has a couple different spots it can spawn in, and they're kind of in certain zones. So, like, there's always one up in this mountain area. There's always one down in this cave area. There's one over in Seeker's Quorum, or sometimes over in the Vault of Secrets. And there's one up in this kind of area of Korthia. There's also rares, in theory, in the Rift. There are supposed to be some rares up in the mainland of Korthia. I've never seen them. I've heard they're bugged. There is a rare that I've found down in the Vault of Secrets, though, inside this little building, that you can do once per day for rep stuff while you're inside the Rift. There's a rare in the Maw, in the Beast Warrens, that you can do for Archivist Codex rep. There are more rares up in the Old Maw. They don't give Archivist Codex rep. They just give Stygian stuff. But the big thing is the Zoval's Hoard. This is a big treasure chest that spawns somewhere in the Beast Warrens, and you can click on it and lug it around really slowly. Wherever it spawns, and actually it can spawn in Perdition Hold, or up in, I think, Zoval's Cauldron area as well. And so you go around, you look for this, and then you lug it to this point on the map here, and Venari will meet you and let you open the treasure chest. And you can do this in a group, or you can even do this in a raid. If you do it in a raid, you can't actually turn in the quest, but you can still open the treasure chest, and that's where all the important stuff comes from anyways. And that important stuff is this blue item, Collapsing Riftstone. This chest is guaranteed to offer you a Collapsing Riftstone, and maybe 2 as well each time you open it. You can use this to let an entire raid into the Rift phase. So as soon as you've gotten like one of these, right, if one person has one of these, then you can take an entire raid, do that daily treasure chest drag the next day, and now everybody in your raid has one of these, or maybe 2, and so you have just infinite access to the Rift from there across that raid group. So do this with a guild if you want to. And then you have, as much time as you need, and you can explore and make sure you're getting the rare that's in the Beast Warrens, the 4 treasure chests, and of course the 4 one-time quests that are in Korthia, the rare that's down in the Vault of Secrets, and you can do it over multiple leisurely 15-minute forays into the rift, rather than being time pressured like you are if you only have, your one individual rift zone. So that is what I've learned about the Archivist Codex rep grind and the way that the rifts function. There is now a flight path down to the Vault of Secrets, by the way. If you didn't know about this, they added this in hotfix. This flayed wing transporter, so you don't need to do any glider shenanigans, but it's not active in the rift phase. So if your rift is going to include Vault of Secrets, my advice would be get down there in the real world, use either the blue rift stone, or if you have a green one and you're just going solo, the rift here, enter the rift, and then Hearth or Wormhole back up to Keeper's Respite. That won't take you out of the rift or anything, and you can keep running around and doing other stuff with your remaining 15 minutes. The rift is actually a pretty hostile place for solo characters, especially if you don't have a way to break roots. There's a lot of mobs, there's a lot of elites, and the mobs will cast a root on you as well. So if you can't, if you're somewhat fragile, if you're on a fragile alt, really do look for, I'd say, group content, doing this with some friends, lugging that treasure chest one time to Venari with a group of friends, and you will all be set forever with these rift stones, and you can keep doing it every day if you want, and just amass a stockpile of these things on your characters that'll just let you pop in and out of the rift at will. Very useful thing to do. It might be the sort of thing even potentially, I haven't found any yet, but like if you search in here, there's 1C Rift, need someone with a Rift key. My guess is that there might be more Rift groups as well over the coming days as people learn about this, maybe after watching this video, where people will coordinate, groups to go into the Rift and handle these elites, open these treasure chests. The treasure chests do seem to despawn like a minute after somebody loots them, so and then respawn some indeterminate time later at maybe a couple of different possible spots. I don't know, I haven't really been able to test it too much. We've been pretty paranoid and trying to get everybody to click at the same time. But I think that hotfix they pushed earlier that made the regular treasure chests nicer has also made the Rift treasure chest nicer. Speaking of which, that's the rest of what you can do if you're trying to min-max your Archivist Codex rep. So I would say, yeah, making sure you've got all the one-time things you can find, that's big boosts of rep. Obviously, you can potentially save the turn-ins until the Dark Moon Fair starts, which is on Sunday. We still aren't 100% sure if that will affect those rep turn-ins, but maybe it will. And then doing the Rift stuff, getting those 4 Rift daily treasure chests, killing the teleporter rares is actually something you can do every day. They only drop their one-time items once, but they drop, amounts of rep every time. And there's a bunch of other rares, right? There's Consumption. Handynotes has been updated here to explain how this thing works, but it doesn't actually drop good loot until it has consumed 40, and you can even let it consume another 40 drab grommets to become extremely big, at which point it will drop even more research. So usually what'll happen when this rare spawns is somebody will kill it, but what you can do if you can try and coordinate with the people who are near it is tell people not to fight it, tell people to let it become green shaded rare elite. So consume 40 grommets, turn into its blue shaded form, consume another 40 grommets, turn into its green shaded form, and then get max rewards from it. But it can't do it if it's in combat. So what you can do is if somebody can taunt it, if some idiot is fighting it and getting in combat with it, you can taunt it and run away and it'll reset. And you can just keep doing that until they get the message if you are on a class that can taunt. And you wait until it's in that green shaded big form before you kill it. So hopefully that is something that you're able to have some success with. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I hate trying to corral a bunch of players on your shard, but if somebody else is doing it, you can maybe join in and help. There are these other rares on the map that are requires a member of a covenant. I haven't ever seen any of these. I think these are, I've heard they're locked behind Renown 48 before you'll start seeing these, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. But there's a bunch of other rares that do show up that some of which make map-wide alerts and some of which don't. So just killing those gets even more rep each day. It's not much compared to the one-time items, but it's something. Some of the dailies do give rep with the Archivist Codex as well. Most of them are just Death's Advance rep, but some of them do give rep towards, or research items as well, towards the Codex. There's this rare over here as well, the Relic Breaker Krelva, which the way I've learned this thing works is you can glider over to it from the top of the chain, You glider over to it, damage it down to 80% health, it will fly to this island, damage it down to 60% health, and it will fly to this island. So be careful, because if you do this, right, if you damage it down and then you jump over here, you damage it down again, your glider's still on cooldown because you just glided down to this island in the first place, then it flies down to the mainland, and a bunch of people kill it, and you don't have a tag, and so you don't get any items. So be careful of that. If you want to do this, like if you see it flying over on this island over here, you can glider over, damage it, and then like wait for your glider cooldown to be back up before you damage it again on Mauler's Outlook, is the advice I'd have for handling that one. Anyways, I'm sure I've missed something about the way that this rep works, but those are just some of the things that I've learned from doing this on... I've really only been super min-maxing it on one character, which is not this character, because I wanted to be on a character that has all these icons still in my map, so that I could show you all of them. But it's kind of a cool little zone. I would say that, you know, doing the dailies and whatever rares show up along your way while doing those dailies is going to get you most of the way towards good progress on this rep. But to really min-max it and squeeze every ounce of rep out of it, you do kind of need to, you know, do a little bit of the rift stuff and hang out in the zone and wait for these teleporters to spawn and stuff, which is kind of annoying, but is what it is. You know, it's a rep grind. There all is. Every rep grind finds its own way to be dumb and annoying. So, anyways, hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Check out my Twitch stream, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, one more thing. Don't leave just yet. There is one more thing, which is from the Depths Advanced vendor. You can buy this item once you reach Friendly, the Vault Anima Tracker, which lets you then, you can see, so you use this once, it stays on the vendor for some reason, so you can buy this thing, use it, and it's like one of those one-time upgrade things. Anima Tracker, there it is. And then, for, you know, that character will be able to start seeing these special treasures up in the Old Maw. For some reason, it still shows up on the vendor, but it is really a one-time upgrade that then affects your character forever. And up in the Old Maw, both in the rifts and outside the rifts, you'll be able to start seeing these anima vessels. They are quite rare. I've seen them, you know, I would say like doing a circle around the Maw, you maybe will see one of them from doing like a pretty thorough sweep, 0 to 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But they also can contain the Archivist Codex rep items, so that's another fun little way you can get a little bit more out of this. I've heard there's a cap of maybe 5 of these that you can loot each week or each half week or something. And it's also worth noting that like treasures in Korthia will eventually decay as well. The first couple you open each week probably have some blue and epic items, or each day have some blue and epic items, and then after that they start having just only a couple of relic fragments, and eventually they'll start just not having any relic fragments in them at all. So anyways, all right, now I'm out of here. Bye.